Yes, hi. So the Prime Minister is on a three-nation tour to Nigeria, Rio de Janeiro, which is in Brazil, and of course Guyana. Remember, these three visits are historic from several points of view. Now, yesterday the Prime Minister visited Nigeria, which was the first by an Indian Prime Minister in over 17 years. He had a bilateral dialogue with the Premier of the country on several issues related to security, related to defense, related to technology, health, and several other domains. And of course, India and Nigeria already had elevated ties between these two nations to strategic level, and of course there were talks on how to expand cooperation as far as these sectors were concerned. Let's now come to date 2 of the Prime Minister's tour. Now today he is in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to take part in the G20 Leadership Summit. Remember, this is important because Brazil is carrying on from India's presidency, which was here in last year, and remember there were several historic firsts that also came about so far as India's hosting of G20 was concerned, wherein it was due to the efforts of the Prime Minister and of course India to include several African nations into the G20 grouping. So that came about, and of course that historic Delhi declaration that happened, wherein India got several sides, Ukraine and Russia, to agree on several parts of the Delhi declaration. And of course this visit to the G20 this time around is also carrying forward that legacy. The Prime Minister has also tweeted, and I say that Brazil has built upon India's legacy. I look forward to meaningful discussions, keeping our vision of one earth, one family, one future. Now, important to note what's on the agenda. Well, several geopolitical aspects will be on the agenda because we've seen escalation as far as the Ukraine-Russia war is concerned, wherein Russia launched at least over 100 air attack missiles on Ukraine. Ukraine has been able to defend some of those, and of course there's escalation happening in the Middle East conflict is also as far as that is concerned. The implications of on global economy, that will also be discussed at the G20 leaders grouping, and of course there will be several other sessions pertaining to hunger, pertaining to sustainability, global sustainable development, and many other things. Important to also note that Chinese Premier Xi Jinping and of course the outgoing President of the United States, President Biden, will also be there. So we can expect many bilateral meetings of the Prime Minister at G20, and of course that very important development of Donald Trump coming up again as the US President. He will be sworn in January. That will also be discussed given the kind of impacts that he could have, his coming back as President could have on the global economy.